Now in 9.3, I'm just going to do one or two problems, probably just one, maybe two. One or two problems here in 9.3. And in 9.3, what chapter 9 is about is more than one equation at the same time. Have you noticed? Well, it's called systems of equations. So we're dealing with how do you do more than one equation at the same time? Well, we just did three at the same time, got that handled. What's different here about these two equations from the ones we've been doing? What's that? Doesn't have a V?
A Z.
Doesn't have a Z, true. Doesn't have a Z. What else is different? Yeah, they're not equal. They're greater than, less than. Notice. Greater than, less than. That's the major difference. Do you know what does greater than, less than do on a graph? They want me to graph them. What does greater than, less than do on a graph? It makes shading. Are you aware of that? Shading always appears on a graph. Why? Why do you do shading on a graph when you got greater than, less than? Because by its very nature, greater than or less than means a range of answers, not just one answer. Like say, if I say, hey, I've got less than 5 coins in my pocket. Well, that could mean 4 or 3 or 2 or 1 or 0, a whole range of answers. Whereas if I say, I've got 3 coins in my pocket, well, that's just 3, nothing else. So that's why whenever you talk greater or less, there's a whole bunch of answers, aren't there? That's why we do shading on graphs, because we're saying all these are possible answers. So just know, whenever you look at a greater than, less than question, there's always going to be shading on the graphs. So, okay. So how does it work? Let me grab the first one. Y greater than or equal to x plus 4. Do you remember how to graph a line first off?
You start with the 4.
Yeah, good. Remember? Start with this number. That's always right in the middle. You know, positive is up the middle. Negative would be down the middle. I kind of squeeze those words together there. Positive is up in the middle. Negative would be down. So you go up 4, there's our first dot. And then how do you find, you just need 2 dots, right, to make a line? So we're halfway there for this one anyway. How do we find our second dot? 1 over 1, that's the slope, right? Whatever there's no fraction in front. So we put an invisible 1 over 1. Does everybody see why we do that? Because I haven't changed anything. 1 times x is still just x, isn't it? This is rise over run. So I go up 1 and over 1. There's the second dot. Up 1, over 1. And then you connect the 2 dots.
It's a solid line.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember all that stuff. Yeah, from 61. Good memory. Yeah, if you have a solid bar, it's a solid line. If you're missing that, it'll be dotted. We'll talk more about that next week. That's right. So, okay. But not only that, there's also shading. It's not just the line. You're either going to shade up here, the top of the line, or you're going to shade down here the bottom, the whole bottom or the whole top. How do you know which one?
It's greater than x.
It's the top.
Good. Yeah, what it says right here, it says y greater. Isn't that greater? Right? It's on the wide side of the mouth instead of the narrow side. So it's saying shade the greater things. Which is greater, top or bottom? Here's the y-axis. Where are the greater numbers? Up, huh? So we're going to shade this. Good so far? We're halfway there. Now let's take the second equation. Bring it down. Now they've kind of written it backwards. You don't have to do this, but I think it might make life easier for you. I would reorder it like that. That's the same thing, huh? Right? The negative. Remember, when you move things around, it's fine to move them around as long as you keep the same sign in front, right? The negative's in front of x, the negative is still in front of x. What's in front of 5? Nothing, which is the same as positive. So I haven't changed anything. Then you don't have to do that, but it might be easier. Where do we start?
Negative
5 again.
Positive 5, right? That's a positive 5. So up 5 in the middle. So I'm going to kind of have to get that other stuff out of the way. So up 5. So right there at 5 is my first dot. Now how do I get to my second dot?
You get down one.
Yeah, again, you got to put negative, you got to put 1 over 1 there because there's no fraction, that's the slope.
And go to the
That's rise over run. But it's negative 1, huh? So that means down 1 over 1.
because each other.
We're good there? Negative 1 over
We're
1.
gonna shade these.
And then bring it down. So connect the two dots. We good so far? Right, because the slope was down. So from the first dot and up 5. Then I went down 1 over 1 because the negative 1 over 1, you know, the negative x there. All right, now which side are we going to shade for the red line? Am I going to shade the top of that red line or the bottom of that red line? What does it say? All you got to look at is y.
The top again.
Y greater. Y greater. Where's the greater stuff? On the top. So we're going to shade the top, all the top. Now the final answer to this question is where the two shadings overlap,
You get
which is
the top part with both encounter.
right there. Yeah, right there, huh? That's where the two shadings overlap
That's
each
the
other.
answer.
That's the final answer. On the Math Excel, I'll show you next time. This isn't even do. There's a little paint bucket. They have you click on a section and it paints the whole section for you. It's pretty easy.
So, do you shade it or you wait to the last to shade that?
Yeah, you actually wait to the last. Yeah, I'll show it next time when we do more of these on Math Excel.